I remember the day vividly. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and the library was buzzing with the usual hum of activity. Children were gathered in the reading nook, engrossed in story time. Teenagers were hunched over their books, preparing for exams, and adults were scattered throughout, some reading newspapers while others were lost in novels. As I glanced over the crowded room, I felt a sense of pride. This was what I had always envisioned a library to be, a haven for learning, exploration, and community. But that tranquility was shattered when I received an anonymous letter. The words were harsh, accusing me of pushing a radical agenda and calling for my dismissal. It was filled with threats and misinformation, a stark reminder of the growing political extremism targeting libraries and librarians. I was stunned. How could promoting literacy and knowledge be seen as radical? I later found out I wasn't alone. Many of my colleagues across the country were facing similar attacks. It became clear that this was more than just a personal vendetta. It was part of a larger, more organized effort to undermine the role of libraries. The letter marked the beginning of a challenging period, both professionally and personally. Yet it also ignited a fire within me to fight back and defend the very principles that libraries stand for: freedom of information and accessibility for all. As the 2024 election approaches, the stakes are higher than ever. Libraries are not just buildings filled with books, they are pillars of democracy. They provide free access to information, support lifelong learning, and serve as community hubs. The attacks on libraries are not just attacks on individuals like me, but on the very fabric of our democratic society. In recent years, libraries and librarians have found themselves at the center of a fierce political battle. What was once a sanctuary for learning and community engagement has become a battleground for ideological warfare. Political extremism, fueled by misinformation and partisan agendas, has targeted libraries with increasing ferocity. This growing trend poses a significant threat to the core mission of libraries: to provide free and equal access to information for all. Librarians across the country have reported a surge in challenges to books and programs that some deem controversial. These challenges often come from organized groups that seek to impose their beliefs on the wider community. The consequences of these actions are far-reaching, leading to the censorship of diverse voices and perspectives. This undermines the very essence of what libraries stand for: an inclusive space for all viewpoints. Moreover, the personal attacks on librarians have escalated. Social media platforms have become breeding grounds for smear campaigns, where librarians are vilified for simply doing their jobs. This has led to a climate of fear and intimidation, forcing some librarians to reconsider their careers. The impact of these attacks is not just professional, but deeply personal, affecting the mental health and well-being of those targeted. The upcoming 2024 election is set to amplify these issues. Political candidates and extremist groups are increasingly using libraries as pawns in their campaigns. They exploit public fears and prejudices to gain support, often at the expense of truth and integrity. As the political rhetoric intensifies, libraries and librarians must brace themselves for an even more challenging landscape. Libraries have long been recognized as vital institutions in supporting civic engagement and democracy. They provide a wealth of resources that empower citizens to make informed decisions, participate in public discourse, and engage in the electoral process. This role is more crucial than ever as we approach the 2024 election, a pivotal moment in our nation's history. One of the fundamental ways libraries support democracy is through voter education. By offering nonpartisan information about candidates, issues, and the voting process, libraries help ensure that citizens can make informed choices at the ballot box. Initiatives like the American Library Association's Reader, Voter, Ready campaign are prime examples of how libraries are stepping up to meet this need. In addition to voter education, libraries also serve as forums for public dialogue. They host debates, town hall meetings, and community discussions where citizens can engage with one another and with their elected representatives. These events foster a sense of community and provide a platform for diverse voices to be heard. In a time when public trust in institutions is waning, libraries offer a space for constructive and respectful dialogue. Furthermore, libraries are champions of digital literacy. In an age where misinformation spreads rapidly online, libraries provide the tools and training necessary to navigate the digital landscape critically. By teaching patrons how to distinguish between credible sources and false information, libraries play a crucial role in combating the spread of misinformation. This is essential for a healthy democracy, where informed citizens can engage in meaningful civic participation. Section 4. The tactics used to discredit libraries and librarians. Extremist groups and political actors employ various tactics to discredit libraries and librarians. These tactics are often rooted in misinformation and aim to sow distrust among the public. One common strategy is the spread of false narratives about the content of library collections. Books that discuss sensitive or controversial topics are frequently misrepresented as promoting harmful ideologies. This leads to calls for book bans and censorship, undermining the library's mission to provide diverse perspectives. Another tactic is the personal vilification of librarians. Social media platforms are often used to launch coordinated attacks against individuals, painting them as radicals or enemies of certain values. These smear campaigns are designed to intimidate and silence librarians, discouraging them from offering programs or resources that might be deemed controversial. The psychological toll of these attacks cannot be overstated, as they create a hostile work environment and can lead to career burnout. Political actors also exploit legislative processes to impose restrictions on libraries. Laws are proposed that limit the types of materials that can be included in library collections or that require libraries to filter internet content. These legislative efforts are often framed as protecting community values, but are in reality thinly veiled attempts to impose ideological control. The result is a chilling effect on the free exchange of ideas, which is fundamental to a democratic society. Extremist groups also use economic pressure to discredit libraries. They campaign for funding cuts, arguing that public money should not support institutions that offer controversial materials or programs. This financial strain can limit the ability of libraries to provide essential services, further marginalizing vulnerable communities that rely on these resources. The ultimate goal of these tactics is to weaken the library's role as a neutral, inclusive space for all. Section 5. Neutral, inclusive spaces. The importance of libraries in the community. Libraries are more than just repositories of books. They are vital community hubs that offer a neutral space for exploration, learning, and dialogue. In an increasingly polarized society, the importance of maintaining libraries as neutral, inclusive spaces cannot be overstated. They provide a sanctuary where individuals from all walks of life can come together, free from the pressures of external biases and agendas. One of the key roles of libraries is to offer equal access to information. This means providing resources that reflect diverse perspectives and experiences, allowing patrons to explore topics from multiple angles. By doing so, libraries promote critical thinking and help individuals form well-rounded, informed opinions. This inclusivity is essential for fostering a more tolerant and understanding society. Libraries also serve as safe spaces for marginalized communities. Whether it's offering LGBTQ+ literature, hosting cultural events, or providing resources for immigrants and refugees, libraries strive to meet the needs of all community members. This commitment to inclusivity ensures that everyone has a voice and a place where they feel welcome and valued. It is this very inclusivity that extremist groups seek to undermine, fearing the empowerment of diverse voices. Furthermore, libraries are essential for promoting lifelong learning. They offer programs and workshops on a wide range of topics, from digital literacy and job skills to health and wellness. By providing these opportunities, libraries help individuals improve their lives and contribute more effectively to their communities. This lifelong learning is a cornerstone of a vibrant, informed democracy. In maintaining their neutrality, libraries uphold the principles of free speech and intellectual freedom. They resist the pressure to conform to any single ideology, instead offering a platform for all voices to be heard. This commitment to neutrality is what makes libraries unique and invaluable public institutions. As we face growing political extremism, it is crucial to support and protect these spaces that foster understanding, engagement, and democratic participation. Section 6. A call to action, supporting our libraries. As we approach the 2024 election, the challenges facing libraries and librarians are more apparent than ever. Political extremism, misinformation, and smear campaigns threaten the very foundations of these vital public institutions. Yet, amidst these challenges, there is an opportunity for us to rally in support of our libraries and reaffirm their importance in our communities. First and foremost, we must recognize the value that libraries bring to our society. They are not just places to borrow books, they are centers of learning, hubs of community activity, and pillars of democracy. By providing free and equal access to information, libraries empower individuals to make informed decisions and engage in civic life. This role is indispensable, especially in times of political turmoil. Supporting libraries can take many forms. Attending library events, volunteering, and advocating for library funding at local and state levels are all ways to contribute. Additionally, staying informed about the challenges libraries face and speaking out against censorship and misinformation are crucial steps. By standing with our libraries, we help ensure that they remain inclusive spaces for all. We must also support the librarians who are on the front lines of this battle. They are dedicated professionals who work tirelessly to provide valuable services to their communities, often in the face of adversity. A simple thank you, a letter of support, or advocating for their protection against harassment can make a significant difference. These small acts of kindness can help bolster their resolve and affirm their essential role in our society. In conclusion, the battle for libraries is not just about books. It's about defending the principles of free access to information, inclusivity, and democratic participation. As we navigate the challenges ahead, let us stand together in support of our libraries and librarians. By doing so, we protect not only these cherished institutions, but also the very fabric of our democratic society. Let us ensure that libraries continue to be places where knowledge, understanding, and community thrive.